The dude who's 5'8" has been developing his character. He's been on his healing journey. He's becoming emotionally available. That's the one that she's gonna marry. Be very clear. When the words high value come up, the next word is always man. Women are never going around talking about, I'm a high value woman. It's these particular men who call themselves alphas, high value, and really aren't bringing anything of real value to the table.
I have so many female friends. Women go for these toxic men.
This is an Unsolicited Perspectives YouTube exclusive.
All right, Jay, what is a high value person? So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because you sent me a meme where these guys were talking about the dude from the No Fugazi podcast that was on another podcast talking about why he was a high value man, and he listed because I'm 6'4", I make six figures, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they were joking on him saying like, that's what you consider high value?
Right.
So I was like, that's an interesting topic, because through social media right now, what people determine is high value isn't technically what high value is. So I'm going to get into what actually determines a high value person and compare that to influencers. But just before I get into that, what were some of your thoughts on not only, because we talked about this before, the guy from No Fugazi podcast, and these guys who responded back to him in the meme or the reel that you sent me?
Yeah. I mean, so all of these kind of definitions of what a high value man is that these men are coming up with, they're all based on what they think women value. And they think women value money and height. But the truth is, and what the guys in the reel, when they were joking on them, the truth is that women value your character. They do. Listen, ladies these days, yes, if you go on the street and ask a woman, what's your ideal height for a man, they're going to say something over 6 foot. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to marry the 5'8", 5'9" guy. Like, let's be honest, because they're not going to marry the 6 foot guy, because the 6 foot guy is relying a lot on the fact that he's 6 foot. And instead of developing his character and his personality, he's relying on the fact that he makes 6 figures instead of developing his character and his personality. But the dude who's 5'8", who don't have that stuff to fall back on, has been developing his character. He's been on his healing journey. He's becoming emotionally available. And then that's the one that she's going to marry. That's the one that she gonna lock down. Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm saying 9 times out of 10. I'm not saying this is all women. There's a whole lot of women out there, just like men, who are superficial, who date. You ask them, why are you with this guy who talks to you like you ain't worth a damn and all this? Why are you with this guy? But he's so fine. Like, you don't get it, or they're digmatized. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm saying 9 times out of 10, I'm saying most women out here are really actually looking for somebody who has actual real value.
Hold up, Jay. Hey, you getting on this situation and you keep saying men. I specifically labeled this this YouTube exclusive high value person. We talking about men and women. This ain't gonna be a whole man bashing segment.
No. Let's be very, very clear. When the words high value come up, the next word is always man. Women are never going around talking about, I'm a high value woman.
That's not true. Yes, they are.
Nah, nobody is using that. Come on, nobody's using that language. No women are using that language unless they're using it in like to make fun of men. It's the people coming up with this high value, blah, blah, blah. It's men. I know it. I know you. I know how you feel. I get it. This is not a man bashing thing. But
it sounds like
well, it kind of is. I'm gonna be honest, because
it is a male bashing thing.
But it's not all men. It's not all men. It's never all men. It's never all men. Okay, we all know that. It's these particular men who call themselves alphas, high value, and really aren't bringing anything of real value to the table.
Okay.
The stuff you can build a life on. I can't build a life on 6 feet.
Yeah, you can.
No.
If he hooping,
If he hooping, I mean, that's different. But like, if he just, work at Amazon, like I can't build a life on 6 foot.
Okay. All right. Well, let's actually find out what the definition of a high value person is. So, a high value person is genuinely understood as someone who embodies strong character traits, personality, personal integrity, and commitment to personal growth. Key characteristics include integrity and ethics, self awareness and growth, proactivity and goal orientation, consistency with values, those things, emotional maturity.
Yeah.
Those things are consistent with a high value person.
Yes.
For instance, Bruce at 2025, low value person.
I do not believe. Oh, not the year 2025, the age between 20 and 25.
Yeah. The age
Okay.
between 20, actually, the age between 18 to 35.
Okay. That's
Not high value.
much wider
The
range.
The age between 35 to 45, a little bit higher value. A little bit higher value. But there's still growth that needs to be there.
Yeah, but it's not that you have grown, it's that you're committed to growth.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean, also I have grown.
Yeah, but it's not, I mean, there's never like a thing where you're finally like, that's it. I've hit it. I've grown. And I don't need to do anything else. No, you have integrity, you have ethics, you are self-aware, you are committed to growth, you're goal-oriented. I would consider you a high-value person.
So for this guy from No Fugazi, and people have already done deep dives on him, and it's not just him, it's a lot of these talking heads on these podcasts. Look, I know this is not being self-aware, but not everybody's supposed to get behind a microphone.
No.
Not everybody's voice needs to be heard. I know they used to say everybody's voice should be heard. Nope.
Yeah.
Some people need to shut the hell up because what they considered high value are really trivial traits that don't really matter, like external markers.
Right.
Influencers and popular online discourse sometimes equate high value with wealth, physical attractiveness, social status, or popularity. Like, so the standards that make you popular in high school are what they're talking about. It's like social media has become high school for adults all over again.
I agree with that.
And it's like, yo, no, like the most of the time, the popular person, and even in those old high school movies, the jock, like Stifler from American Pie, like they don't turn out to be the greatest adults.
No, they end up still at those parties,
right?
Grown, and everybody's like, oh God, here's that old adult who won't move on. Like they still in the club. They still, you over 40 with cornrows, like they're still doing it, Nothing's changed. There's been no growth whatsoever.
Well, hold on. Somebody over 40 can't have cornrows no more? Because cornrows came back. I got a friend. He's a college professor. He's grown his hair out to cornrow, and he's 40.
Luckily, this is a YouTube exclusive, so y'all can see my face.
No, but this idea, and it's people, and you say we're talking about high value in as men, but women feed into this thing as well.
Oh yeah,
I will tell you, I have so many female friends. Women go for these toxic men.
Yeah,
like they really, really do. And I know for a fact, if I'm in the talking stage with somebody, if I act nonchalant, like I don't care, they want me even more.
Yeah.
If I actually show interest and like plan things and be sweet, they like it in the beginning and then it wears off. So I'm like, yo, I should just be a jerk. I should almost revert back to old Bruce.
Yeah.
Because old Bruce gets more play than new Bruce because women are toxic.
Well, that I feel like that goes both ways because there are a lot of guys who especially have children with women they
Mm,
do not like and who are not good people. Like
mhm,
it is constant and they're constantly complaining about their baby mama. Like it's like why did you do it, sir? Why'd you
I know a
do,
guy.
like there are people, unfortunately, and this is why I always say 9 times out of 10, right? Because there's always that group of people who don't value themselves enough
Mm,
to look for an actual high value person. There's a lot of people who think they deserve that kind of treatment, and they might not even be
mm,
conscious, and there's also a lot of people who are just used to that kind of treatment. They're used to toxicity. They grew up in toxicity. They've always had toxicity. They don't know anything else. So when they encounter somebody who is actually of value, they don't know how to handle that and they don't feel worthy of it. And so those situations do exist. There are also situations where those toxic people, the representative that they show up with when they first meet you is charming and intelligent, and you don't know that what's behind that is narcissism.
mm.
They tell you everything you want to hear, they love bomb you, all of the things, and then you find out who they really are. So there's a lot of what if scenarios. There's a lot of those scenarios out there. But I actually went to a wedding like 2 weeks ago of a couple. I'm like, they're gonna make it.
Mm,
They're gonna make it. They're so in tune with each other and friends, and they like each other. They don't just
yeah.
love each other, they like each other. They like being around each other. They like doing things together, and they support each other emotionally. And I'm like, wow, this is a couple that's actually going to make it. Like that's out there. That's not as rare as people think it is.
I know this dude one time. He's with a woman 5, 6 years. And this dude was a friend of mine,
Mhm.
right? And like I had never met his girl. And I was like, yo, why haven't I met your girl? He was like, a lot of people haven't met her. I was like, okay, so why is that? I don't think most people are gonna like her. She's kind of not a likable person. I was like, well, do you like her?
Right.
Because if it's not a likable person, if you can't introduce the person that you've been with for years to your people because you think that she is gonna rub them the wrong way, then why are you with her
Right.
in the first place? Some people just
Precisely.
out here don't want to be lonely.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
and
also
and some
that
people,
too. Yeah.
yeah, and some people just don't know what high value really means. That's the
Yeah.
reason why we're doing this segment, because people out there got misconceptions. They're going for the glossy and the glamour, but what you really should be looking for is not what's on the outside, what's on the inside.
Yeah.
And you got to ask those type of questions. Pay attention to how they treat their friends
Mhm.
in times of stress,
Yes.
right? Like, pay attention, fellas out there. Pay attention to your girl when she beefing with her girls.
Mhm.
Pay attention to how she's beefing with her family when she's beefing with her family. Does she say some slick stuff? Does she go completely off the wall? Or is she genuinely hurt that there's conflict? And ladies, do the same thing with guys. Now, guys handle conflict a little bit different. You got to really know the dude for him to let his guard down to tell you how he's really feeling if he's really hurt.
Yeah.
But pay attention to how he treats his family and his friends in times of stress. These are the measures of high value people,
Yeah.
how they handle things in the dark times. It's not
Yeah.
always the ways that they handle in the light, and it's not always the exterior. Pay attention to the interior.
Yeah, because what's gonna get you through those tough times as a couple is knowing that your partner is gonna approach these situations with empathy and kindness and compassion.
Boom. And that was a YouTube exclusive.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.